People are asleep, and when they die, they wake up. Almost everyone knows this fact. Any animate object takes up space. It has length, width, height, and weight. The plant takes up space and it grows. The animal takes up space and it grows and moves. The human being takes up space, grows, moves, and thinks. So, when a person doesn't think rationally, his humanity ends, and he becomes like an animal. In other words, the one who cares only about food, water, money, work, and pleasure of porn or something like that, and not thinking about who created him and gave him this life, is an animal. He is an animal because he acts as an animal and because he doesn't think about who created him, what is the purpose of his life, and how he will be after this life, after death. The animal has no mind, but we have. So if we don't think rationally about what's the purpose of this life, we are animals. Even worse, Allah said, "Do you think that most of them hear or reason? They are not except like livestock. Rather, they are even more astray in their way." If we don't meditate about our Creator and only think about pleasure and our indulge in it, then we misuse our minds. The greatest thing Allah created is the mind, and it's a means to know Allah. Allah assigns human beings because of this great mind that can realize and differentiate between right and wrong. It can distinguish between what is right and what is wrong. The minds are precious treasures. Allah created them for us to think and know Him. So if we use them other than what they were created for, then we misuse them. For example, the computer is a precious device. If we use it as a table for putting things on it, then we misuse it because it was made for something more important. So, we have to use our minds in what they were created for. Allah gave us awareness, cognition, and sensibility just to think rationally about all creatures so that we can worship Him wholeheartedly. Contemplating about creatures and ourselves leads us to know the great Creator so that we may worship Him faithfully. Every day, thousands of topics are printed in the Word, and no one can read them even for 50 years. So you have to choose the most important one to read and study. And I believe the most important one is the interpretation of the beautiful names of Allah. It's very important to know this side very well because it's related to your destiny. You must know Allah because your destiny is to Him. To Him will be returned the matter, all of it. So worship Him and rely upon Him. Allah said, "Only those fear Allah from among His servants who have knowledge." That means that the ones who fear Allah are those who know Him. So you have to have a big knowledge about Allah and His beautiful names in order to fear, venerate, pray, and worship Him as He is deserved. The more you know Allah, the more you fear, love, and worship Him. If we knew Allah as the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, we would love and worship him as the Prophet. Now, why should we know Allah? It's to fear and worship Him. And we will not worship Him unless we truly know Him. So why should we worship Him? It's to be happy with Him and to achieve the purpose of our existence. Allah said, "And I did create the jinn and mankind to worship me. I don't want from them any provision, nor do I want them to feed me. Indeed, it's Allah who who is the continual provider, the firm possessor of strength. Now, what is worship? According to scholars' definition, worship is voluntary obedience mixed with heartfelt love. It's based on certain knowledge and it leads to eternal happiness. So, among millions of topics, no one is more important than the lessons of knowing Allah. You should know the God who bestowed upon you the grace of creation and supplying, the God who gave you mind, heart, air, water, food, wife, children, and so on, the God who guided you by His prophets and popes.